Florida. Like, I am convinced. Like, I am totally convinced that Florida is not a real place. Like, it literally is not a real place. Like, every time the Breakfast Club is on and Charlemagne the God says that the craziest people come from Florida and that it's not a real place, this has officially let me know that Florida is not a real place. Like, what? What? Are you kidding me? A blind man could see that this man was guilty. Florida is not a real place. Like, I'm definitely convinced Florida is not a real place. But if you guys don't know, they have officially declared a mistrial. The jury deliberated for 14 hours. And then after 14 hours, they came back in and they said it was a mistrial. Now, they've been asking silly stuff. I'm like, y'all want the victim phone that don't work? Like, come on now. What is going on here? And they declared it a mistrial. You said wishing jail on somebody is crazy. Wishing jail on somebody who I believe committed a murder of 2 people, that's crazy to you? Girl, you crazy to not want somebody in jail that you believe committed a murder. Like, what? Like, why would I not want him in jail if I think that he killed 2 people? And it's not that I want him in jail or that I'm wishing jail on him. I feel like that's the appropriate sentence for what happened, given the facts. You're supposed to go to jail if you commit murder. The hell you mean wishing jail on him? Ain't nobody wishing jail on nobody. Not wishing anything. I'm just going by the facts. And the facts to me say guilty. The facts that was presented, dumbass girl. That's what facts. Anyways. So let me play the video because his dumbass no brain fans is coming up in here, and child, I cannot take too much of it. I cannot take too much of it because they just as slow as the damn jury. I'm convinced. I need to know the IQ of Florida as a collective. I need to know the IQ of Florida as a collective. I'm gonna presume when I see dumbass questions in the comments, I'm going to think they're from Florida and they're part of the low IQ pool. Okay. Shania says the jury was paid off. It got to be something. It got to be something. It got to be something. And you're right. These are the same people that could not find Zimmerman guilty. It's something in the water in Florida. Low IQ, special something. Special ed. Yes, they absolutely are set. They set a new date from, I think 30 days from today. I think the 28th. They're going to be back on the 28th, I believe. And they're going to, at that time, determine when the next they're going to determine when the next dates are. So I believe the 28th is like their status conference or hearing or whatever. And on the 28th, they're going to come back and decide, the dates, hearings or whatever. That's when they're going to come up with like, what we finna do going forward. Are we going to, try this again? Are we going to set a new date? Like, that's normally what's going to happen on the 28th. So let's child. Baby, let me put up the screen of let me put it up on a screen, child. I'm in disbelief. I knew his fans was dumb, but I'm like, the whole state of Florida can't be dumb. Like, I'm like, I know his fans are special ed, and they just saying not guilty just because they just be idol worshiping celebrities. But I'm like, ain't no way all of Florida is this damn dumb. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Melly came out of that room smiling from ear to ear, cheesing from ear to ear. Whoever, girl, I do know. Shut the fuck up, girl. You making me curse, and I don't want to curse. Shut the up. It ain't about the law. It's about damn retardos, okay? Because most of the legal experts that was not on Law and Crime's payroll said the real. Okay? Not YNW Terry, but the actual legal experts that actually know the law spoke about the trial, credited judges and everything, pointed to guilt. Okay. Oh, let me see if Alfie is available. Child. Let me pull it up, y'all. Oh, let me press play. It's already up.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let the room once again reflect the presence of the defendant. This counsel is the state attorney and the ladies and gentlemen jury. Ladies and gentlemen, received a juror inquiry form. It indicates that after further discussions, reviewing the evidence and speaking freely amongst the jurors, we are still unable to reach a unanimous decision. So at this time, what I am going to do is just declare a mistrial, case mistrial, and indicate to you that how much we appreciate the fact that you were here and willing to serve. One thing I try to tell jurors at the beginning of the trial process, all through board dire, is how much we appreciate the fact that you're here and willing to serve. Our system doesn't work without getting people from the community to come in here and listen to the facts of the case and make decisions. These type of decisions, they're hard decisions, and we very much appreciate the fact that you gave us the time, because we've been here a long time. We understand that. You gave us the time and you put your best effort to see if you can bring the case.
In my opinion, I think the prosecutor fucked up by trying to attach the death penalty to this case. Trying to go overboard to try to make a name for herself. I think, and this is my opinion, I think that they were hung up on the death penalty. I can't say for certain. If one of the jurors speaks out, then they will say whatever was being discussed. But I think that she overreached with the death penalty aspect of it. And I think that is what hung this up. Because from the beginning to the end, I always said, I don't believe that they're going to get him on death penalty. I said that so many times. I'm like, I think he's guilty of killing them, but I don't think this meets the requirement of the death penalty. And that is something that I have said throughout. Anytime that I told y'all what I think about this case, I said, I think they definitely show that he did it. However, I don't think that it was death penalty. I don't think it rose to the level of death penalty. The whole angle of the gang hit, she kept changing it, and she didn't like thoroughly sit on how this was a gang hit. So my position throughout this was not the death penalty, for sure guilty. But the way that they wrote the jury instructions, I don't think it allowed them to not select the gang part as a part of, you know, the total complete guilty. So if I understand, and I'm gonna have an attorney who has been covering the case with law and crime, I'm gonna have her come up in a minute, but I'm interested about that part because I don't think, and I'm not mad, like, child, this is entertainment. At the end of the day, let's be totally for real. Let's be totally for real. If Melly get out and kill all of his friends, it will not affect me not one bit. Okay? Let's be for real. It won't affect me. It won't make me lose sleep. Now, I don't know if that sounds harsh, but I will not lose sleep. Okay? If he walk out of the court today, I will not lose not one piece of sleep. Let's get that part for real. I'm entertaining y'all on some entertainment stuff because I'm just like, damn, like really? But at the end of the day, like if y'all really think that us as content creators really care, like as far as like, oh my God, I can't sleep because Melly had a mistrial. Child, be for real. I'm here to clock the coins and entertain. Boy, I give it my opinion. Now, in my opinion, do I think that Florida is on some BS? Absolutely, positively. I think it has to be a low IQ pool. I think that a blind man can see that he's guilty. But am I going to get on here and entertain? Absolutely. Child. And I need y'all, because you think I'm so mad and I'm so sad, I need y'all to help me with my sorrows, child. I need help. I'm so sad. I need to buy a bottle. I need to buy a bottle of Hennessy. I cannot believe. Let me put my Cash App up. I'm so sad. I am so sad. Hold on. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. They, oh, I'm in distress. I'm in distress. I need help. They didn't find him guilty or not guilty. Oh, I need donations. I need to buy a bottle of Hennessy, child, because I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Oh, let me play this.
The resolution, unfortunately, wasn't able to happen. But I want to thank you again for your time and consideration of the case. I also want to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and vote should remain their private affair as long as they wish. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury work. The lawyers and their representatives are not permitted to initiate any communication with you about the trial. However, you may speak with the lawyers or anyone else about the trial. You also have a right to refuse to speak with anyone. A request may come from those who are simply curious or from those who might seek to find fault. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror or not. And again, I want to thank you very much for your time. It's very much appreciated. You're free to go. All right, score time. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Let the record reflect that the juror stepped out. Councilman, regarding the exhibits, counsel, how do you want to handle that? Take an hour or later time. I don't know, you had some exhibits today. Whatever defense exhibits.
What type?
All right, so, how do you want to address this now, counsel?
Can you set a statement date and pick, we should start within 90 days, unless you're going to start to waive that.
We're not prepared to make that decision right now. I would ask that we set this in a week for our status.
Is there any objection to
No, you're right.
that? So why don't we put it on the docket for next Friday?
Just check to make sure we're all available.
You said you,
Thereabouts.
it's not a problem.
Let's see, 28th.
Is that good?
Is that good? Yeah, good for you?
I know at least this certain. I will see what you do, so that's good enough.
Is it good?
Yes.
You're already around 28, so.
Is that okay?
I'll be the judge.
Yes.
We're all good?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's see you back the 28th. All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
you give them a notice.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it all.
Thank you.
Not about you.
Talisha, this means that they are going to retry the case with a new jury. So, they're going to send in, I believe, a better prosecutor that can minimize the case. I feel like this prosecutor had all of the facts. But I think that she over flooded the jury with information. She over freaking saturated them with way too much information. And I think that when they get back into trial for the second time, they're going to simplify the case. They are going to stick to the facts, and they are going to nail the conviction the second time. That is my prediction, and that is what I think. I think that some of the experts that she put in were just filibusters, wasting time. I think if she sticks to the motive, gets rid of the whole gang initiation angle, because that's dumb. And she sticks to the facts of there was tension within the YNW MELLY crew. There was, and also the gang expert was goofy as hell. You could tell that the gang expert pretty much found out all he needed to know on YouTube gang info for dummies. Okay, because some of the stuff that he was saying, please get Heartbreak Kid out of here, because he about to irritate. Is my mods in the chat? Let me see. But anyways, this is my prediction, and this is what I think. I think that she is going to simplify the case, being that I have seen how I sat in on the T.I. and Tiny trial with the dolls. And when they first went in with the trial, the lawyers that was suing them, they had stuff that didn't make sense that showed that they copied them, right? And they could tell that they were losing, so they moved for a mistrial. Okay? They got a mistrial, and what they did was they came back. I sat in on the first original trial in January. They came back in May. And when May came, obviously it's two different cases, but this is still how it goes. The best dad ever, child. Anyways, whether it's criminal, civil, federal, if it's a mistrial, they're going to find out where they messed up at, which I'm explaining to you. So when they first went in January, the jurors came out. They had ability to speak to the jurors. And when they spoke to the jurors told them in detail the problems that they had with the case and why they did not convince them that they did not copy. Okay. I interviewed one of the jurors and he said, it's without a doubt they copied them. I'm convinced, yada, yada, yada. We came back in May. They simplified their case. They changed their angle. They went with a totally different approach, a new strategy, and they won. Okay. So that is what I believe will happen here. A lot of us was sitting through a lot of those expert testimonies and a lot of the stuff that she was asking them. What marking does the bullet make when it fires a gun? Who gives a fuck? Well, where did the bullet go and where did it land? And who shot it? Like, I don't care what mark it makes if that doesn't tell me who shot it, So she gave a lot of basically irrelevant testimony to just waste days and days and days and days of certain things. It wasn't until day 10 until we got an actual expert that was telling us exactly how this happened, exactly what the trajectory was, exactly what the kill shot was. It was like we was already 2 weeks in at that point to where we finally got a expert that could tell us what happened. So that's just what I think. I think that the facts are there. I feel like if they go back in, they are going to come back with a better strategy, condense the case, drop the death penalty, and that's what it's going to be. That's my prediction. Girl, there was boy, girl, whoever this was, there was no doubt with that phone. Please. There was no doubt with the phone. The phone was his, period. Only somebody with a low IQ would be like, oh, that's not his phone. Even his own defense said it was his phone. Did y'all forget their closing arguments? They said he had his phone in his hand when he got out to pee. Even the defense said it was his phone. So it was his phone. There was no doubt with the phone, especially when his own defense team said he grabbed his phone. He got out with his phone and he went to go pee with his phone. And then once he had his phone, he set his phone down and Bortland drove off with his phone. The defense said it was his phone. So there was no doubt with the phone. What are y'all talking about? Thank you, LaShandra, for the Cash App. I appreciate it. I appreciate the Cash App. I appreciate anybody. But let's get an actual attorney up here. She looked like she's still walking, so I'll let her. I think she's walking into her building. So we're gonna get an actual attorney. We have Opie Patterson, who is about to come up. She has been covering with law and crime. She has also set in on the Tory Lanez trial as well. I met her during the Tory Lanez trial, and while we were sitting in there, we were talking about, going back and forth on what we thought about Tory Lanez and things like that. So, okay. Okay. Thank you, Get Rich or Die Slotting, for the $2 super sticker. I appreciate it. Okay, she said she can't come on camera now. Okay, hey, Opie, what's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, solid, solid. Yeah, so I just got the news about the mistrial, which is pretty cool. It's been interesting. But I'm just wondering if this is a jurisdiction where you can go and talk to the jurors afterwards, because that's when you learn everything. You can learn like, hey, what had you guys deadlocked? What did you believe was the most credible evidence? And I, for one, want to know about the alibi witness, because the alibi witness throws the whole prosecution's case out of the window. Like, hey, how credible was the alibi witness, and what parts of his testimony was like most important for you? The fact that he was supposedly at the apartment when the shooting occurred. Why did you throw all of the phone testimony out? Like, lots you got to get from the jury right now, because they're going to retry him again.
Right. So that's what I was telling them, that, you know, I feel like they're going to, do you think it's going to be the same prosecutor? I think they're going to throw on somebody different. What you think?
I think it could very well be the same prosecutor, because you always learn from your mistakes. I think for this prosecutor, I think for this prosecutor, the problem was there was a well-prepared defense counsel. Their lead defense attorney was on top of it when it came to evidence. Any lesser defense attorney would have let so much evidence through, and that didn't happen because he was prepared with so much case law, which is so important when you're objecting to something. So the problem, though, is not whether or not you're going to have the same prosecutor, whether you're going to have the same defense team. Because a defense team like that, minimum, is going to run you $250K. So this mistrial, it may be relief. It's not necessarily a victory. It may be just temporary relief, because he's going to have to shell out a ton of money to get either the same defense team or a defense team that's just as experienced, just as equal to the one he had.
So were you shocked at the fact that there was a mistrial? They saying that you pro Melly in the chat.
You can say I'm pro Melly. I'm an attorney. I'm giving you an unbiased view, but I respect that. I respect your opinion. But no, I'm not pro Melly. I'm definitely pro attorney. So I look at things from an attorney's performance perspective. And what I'll also say is you got to look at the jury makeup. So, you know, the last probably week of the trial, I started thinking like, hey, what does this jury look like? Is it young people? Is it older people? What's the ethnic background of these people? Are they retired? Are they working? You win and lose based on juries, and jury selection is so important. And that's why you guys know in the what is the other guy, the Thugger trial, jury selection has taken so long because you win and lose based on your jury as well.
Well, that's taking so long because nobody has 6 months to 9 months to commit to sitting at a trial. That trial is supposed to be like almost a year long. So it's like,
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, like who could sit 6 months to a year out of their life without working?
Yeah. And then who can? That's a good question. People who don't have jobs, people who have flexibility on jobs, people who don't need to work. So it's like that's an important jury demographic consideration as well.
Right. So somebody asked, and I think you already answered this, but they said, do you think they put the gun in Melly's hand?
No, absolutely not. It's just the prosecutor had a ton of information that they just piecemealed it to us. They didn't focus on the gun, and I think that was a mistake for the prosecution. But no, they didn't put the gun in his hand. They didn't put the gun in his hand. They didn't put him pulling the trigger. It's so much that they didn't do. But so what I suspect also is that the prosecution has a ton of evidence that led them to Melly that they actually could not introduce in trial. So like, you know, we've heard like a bunch of rumors and stuff, and they probably had like a bunch of leads, and they're like, oh, okay, this points us to Melly. But just because they have it doesn't mean it's admissible in court. So I think the prosecution thinks that they have their man, but they were limited by what they could introduce in court. And you saw like with the witnesses, there was a huge wall of silence around this. Nobody wants to testify.
Somebody asked a question. They said, please ask her, what about the alibi witness seemed credible?
So if you just look, this is gonna be my last question because I hear people knocking. But so look, just take I think his name is Mr. Davis versus Trevion Glass. If you look at Trevion Glass's testimony, he was combative and he seemed a little argumentative on both sides, more so when the defense was cross-examining him. But cross-examination is kind of adversarial, so you're going to have a little bit of an attitude of defensiveness. But the alibi witness, he was just solid and consistent, and it's not like he was ever caught up in a lie. The prosecution, her toughest questions to him were, why didn't you say any of this, when I interviewed you? And he said, hey, you didn't ask the question, and Detective Moretti, the lead detective, never.
But none of his alibi corroborates with none of the actual evidence, though.
Just because the alibi doesn't corroborate doesn't mean the witness's testimony wasn't credible. It's all about how you present yourself and how you come off. I gotta bounce. People are trying to get in, but call me back later. In the meantime, follow me at the Black Letter Law. I'm on Twitter too. Thank you for having me, boo.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
I'll come back later, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye.
Let's see. Somebody said, I'm kind of still confused. LOL. So what happened to Melly? Do he go back to jail or is he free until the next trial? He goes back to jail. Let me see. All right, let me put it in the chat. Y'all silly. Glass was definitely more credible to me than Davis. Glass, as soon as Davis got on the stand, I'm like, you're lying. Like, it was clearly a lie. And a lot of people think that just because you have like a criminal record, that means that you are a liar. No, I don't think that just because he has a case makes him a liar. I think that he was credible to me, more credible than Davis. Davis looked like a liar to me. He looked like a trained, polished liar. Dre?
What's going on, Neat?
It's a mistrial, Dre. You expected it?
Yeah, I mean, I expected it once they sent that letter in. That's what I expected it to be. Just because I felt like two main things that the prosecution and really nobody was talking about that was major in this case was motive and premeditation. She did not touch on premeditation at all until her closing arguments, and I thought that was very, very vital and very, very hurtful to a case, because when you're dealing with a first-degree murder charge, premeditation is the first thing that that pops up on your verdict guideline sheet. So they have verdict guideline sheets and they have sentencing guideline sheets. So like the sentencing guideline sheets don't come into after the verdict guideline sheet. So they wasn't, when they were doing their deliberation, they weren't able to decide on the death penalty or life in prison because that comes after sentencing. You get what I'm saying? Like he has to be found guilty, then that comes up during your sentencing guidelines. But the motive was important because even though she doesn't need a motive to prove the crime, a motive is very important for a jury because they want to know why. She was never able to tell them why. You get what I'm saying? Like she put up that Sack and his mom were going back and forth, but if you look at the messages, Melly was defending Sack in that. So if you try to use that as a motive to why he killed Sack, it's not gonna register to the jury because they're like you're saying he killed him because he was arguing with his mom, but he was defending him. So I feel like when she tried to use that as a motive and for premeditation of why it happened, it weakened her case because it was going against her evidence. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like if me and you are arguing about something, and the person who's a mediator is taking your side, and then they try to come back and be like, "Oh, well, it doesn't make sense at that point." Now it's like, why would he kill him if he was taking his side? You get what I'm saying? It raises more reasons of asking why. So without the premeditation and the motive, I think that really hurt her case. So if she come back with a motive and come strong on the premeditation, I think she'd be able to get a conviction to go with the evidence. But without proving premeditation, you can't convict somebody of first-degree murder because that's one of the statutes that you have to have up there in order to convict them of it. That's why when you asked me the other day and you was all asking us what we thought it was going to be, I said at best it would be manslaughter because she didn't prove premeditation. So manslaughter, you can get convicted without premeditation. But if you're going to try somebody for first degree murder, you got to have that premeditation. Because if you can't prove premeditation, you're not going to be able to get victim of that.
I believe she proved premeditation, but go ahead, D.
Even for manslaughter, you have to have a weapon. But my only question is before I leave, to have to retry him, they can't use none of the same evidence. So what was
yes, they can.
No, they can't use anything. It's
yes,
already been seen by a jury.
They can use every. No, they.
Y'all
it was a
don't know the
mistrial.
law. Y'all don't know the
yes,
law.
I do. It was declared a mistrial, and they used the evidence from the I just sat through a trial. That was a mistrial, and they used the same evidence.
Okay, well, let me talk.
They just changed their strategy, but they used quotes from the last trial. They were like, "You said this on the last trial. You did this on the last trial."
Yeah, they can use transcripts from the last trial.
No. Listen. They can always say, hey, if you said something under oath before, they can always use that against them to say, hey, you committed perjury. But they cannot use any of the same evidence. Plus, they don't have any evidence. They don't have a gun. They don't have a motive.
Evidence. What are you talking about?
No, they cannot use the same evidence. They can use the same witnesses, not the same evidence. I bet they don't retry him. I bet they don't. And I bet he got that $250K. He finna get that off his album as soon as he dropped. But hey, I don't know why you so mad at a black man being free, but hey, free Melly, baby.
He thought he ate that. Boy, bye.
So let me ask you, how do you feel like she proved the premeditation? That's what I wanted to ask you. Like, what you think she proved on premeditation?
He must be a part of the low IQ in Florida. I should have asked him where he from. He is not right. They can use all of the same evidence. What the
they can.
are you talking about? They're going to use all of that same evidence, but they're going to simplify the evidence. They're not going to put on an expert talking about what markings the gun make. That expert was ridiculous. He didn't even need to be there. They're going to use all the same evidence, but they're going to pinpoint it better. He don't know what he talking about. He's part of the low IQ, and he thought he ate. The way he exited out, boy, send me a cash app because you really thought you ate, and now I need to eat, okay? Because you thought you ate. You didn't eat, child. But go ahead. Oh, wait, let me bring up Monique. Monique, are you there? Go ahead in the meantime, Dre.
Yeah, just as someone who's actually been in trial multiple times.
Here and Nick, I want to say, keep up what you. Yes.
Oh, you got to turn it off in the back.
Can you hear me, Nick?
Yeah, you have to turn it off in the back.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but just make sure you turn it off in the back.
Okay, I'm sorry. I turned it off. I'm sorry. So I did watch the trial, and I always watched you and followed you, but there's like Crime Live and all the other stuff. And I listened to like the dad talk about it. They talked to like Juvie's dad and Sack Chasers, and I watched all the evidence and stuff. I feel like they have enough evidence for a conviction. I feel like they need a new prosecutor. No shade to her. I feel like they needed somebody like more aggressive and assertive who could really paint the picture for the jury of what they were trying to present at that time. I feel like they need someone who could story tell and break it down so people can follow what was happening throughout all the stuff, because everybody can't think. Everybody needs somebody to tell them what's going on. And I feel like she needed to be able to do that. I feel like she just didn't do a good job. And I feel like the defense, where they were trying to say, oh, he's not a gang member, then it switched to where he wasn't even in the car. I feel like they kind of had their stuff lined up. I really thought that they were going to get a conviction at first, but once they didn't do it on the first day, I knew that they weren't going to do it.
All right. Hold on, wait. It was one comment that I wanted to. Okay. This person says, at first, y'all was saying the prosecutor did her thing. I think that she absolutely did. Wait, she absolutely did her thing by laying out the facts of the case once it got to week 10. I've always said she did too much. And if you see me in the chat during Law and Crime, I was always commenting, girl, like, simplify this shit. This is too long. I've always said that she laid her facts in there. She got the information out that needed to be out, and she put it all together at the end. However, she put too much filibuster stuff in there. I've always said that. She overdid a lot of stuff that's always been said. Like, two things can be true. She put out the facts that let me know that he's guilty, and she also did too damn much by putting in too much stuff, like too much stuff that, like the car ride and all of some of that stuff, the helicopter, like some of that stuff, some of like the traffic surveillance, like sitting there for 45 minutes to watch them a freeway that you can't tell what's going on. Like, she overdid a lot of stuff. However, I don't got ADD, so I was able to pay attention to it. But she did overdo it, but she still put in the stuff, if that makes sense. Anyways, Duke.
How you doing, Nee? I just had to
Hey.
call it. I just wanted to jump on and say this. You making it too intellectual. I think it was just one or two. I hate to say it, us black people up there ignorant and didn't want to convict this boy. Common sense tell you that the boy did it. It's like just it didn't make sense. I think it was just one or two people. If you saw how fast the jury came back and said we're not coming to a conclusion, less than 4 hours within the deliberation, that man, I guarantee you it's gonna come out. It's gonna be two black people, maybe young or live at home mom with limited education. That's all I got to say. Man. All right,
Elaborate
have a
more.
good
Were
day.
you shocked that it came back that it was a mistrial?
I was shocked that it came back as a mistrial, and I was also shocked that how fast the jury came to a conclusion that they couldn't come up with they weren't going to be able to make a decision. If you notice, it was 3 hours, and I think I looked at the clock and said 3 hours and 40 minutes they were deliberating, and they sent the letter to the judge. Right then and there, that told you that whoever was in that room was passionate about their decision of not convicting him. I don't think it was a bunch of people. I don't think it was a proof of evidence. I think it's somebody that was in there that already had their mind made up. It's impossible to look at the facts of the case and say he didn't do something. To me, it was somebody in there to say, one of those people that just say, no, he innocent, and no one can change their mind. But
All
that's all I
right.
got to say. You enjoy your day.
All right. Thank you for coming up. Ali, I could bring you up, but you got to keep the smoke down. You got that?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna just keep mine short. I'm gonna go with what my man said that's on here. I'm just saying I don't think that even if they retrial Melly, I don't think they're gonna be able to convict him. You feel what I'm saying? With that evidence, I don't know, and I'm not 100% sure if they can use the same shit. But also,
No cursing
they,
also, but go ahead.
but also, it's like that they don't have no reason. What is the reason of them saying she didn't even show a reason of them saying why would he kill his friends? Like that, it's just gonna be real hard for them to convict him. He was 19 years old. They don't have a murder weapon. And then what would be the reason that he's gonna kill his two best friends? Like, I don't think they're gonna be able to convict him. I think it's over. I think even if they retrial, it's still gonna be the same result. It's gonna be really hard. So that's just all I wanted to say. They ain't had no premeditation. What's the reason? Why would he just kill his two friends? She didn't show that. And it's gonna be hard for a jury to be like, he just killed them. Oh well, because the Texas said that he killed them over money. Nah, I don't think so. They were showing the money that he had. He had over millions of dollars. So why would I kill my two friends? And they don't have the murder weapon. So that's all I gotta say. I don't think they're gonna be able to cook. I don't think they're gonna be able to do it. But y'all have a good one.
All right. Thank you, Ali. In my opinion, I think it was the death penalty. I think she overreached with the death penalty, and we all agreed that she wasn't gonna get the death penalty. I don't think I seen one single comment from a person who thought that the death penalty was going to go down. And in order for them to get the death penalty in even the next phase, the way that the instructions was written, they had to agree to the gang part to get this guilty verdict. And that part, it did not meet. But go ahead, 651.
Yeah, I agree with it because once a death penalty on the table, and if they have black jurors on that trial, they want it's going to be some black jurors thinking we want to make sure that he did it, and it was all circumstantial evidence. And I think she was reaching on trying to get the death penalty. It's she should have just, it was premeditated murder. It wasn't gang related. We all know it was over. It was over Sat Shaker bullying Melly. It was over power. It was over, typical rap shit. And she kept emphasizing gang related, and adding the fact that I think Miramar police actually
What's up, baby?
botched it because another the Broward Sheriff's Office had to come in and clean it up. If Miramar police would have did what they had to do, they would have had Melly in a couple of days. They would have found all the gun residue and all that stuff. So I think between the prosecutor trying to get the death penalty, and with Miramar PD botching it, I think that had a lot to do with it. But I think,
and I don't believe his angle of, we didn't have the nexus to get a search warrant of the house. How?
I think Miramar. See, I'm from Broward County, so I'm familiar with what's going on. Miramar police were just real lazy when it came to this trial. They was really, really lax, and I don't know why, but they was really, really. It's like they're too ballistic expert. Whoever they brought in the first two, you couldn't even understand them. They threw this whole. I'm like, what the hell? Like it wasn't. It's like they wasn't even trying. So I think between that and she trying to get the death, which I think he deserved the death penalty. If he shot them boys sleep, he executed them. But it wasn't gang related. I don't think it was gang related. It was more so over power. It was more so Sat Shaker was bullying him, and he needed them out the picture to get where he wanted to go.
And I feel like in my eyes, they're saying that she didn't prove premeditation. I feel like she did prove premeditation.
No, she proved it. She proved it. I think what happened when it came to them juries. If they had black juries on that, if they had black jurors, it's gonna be some black jurors like, if we're gonna execute him, we have to have the murder weapon and all this. She didn't have that. It was a circumstantial case. She should have built that from the beginning. She should have made that from the beginning, because it's people that got convicted are way less than circumstantial evidence.
And you even had Sack Chase's auntie just did an interview, and they asked her, they was like, what do you think Melly should get? Do you think he should get the death penalty? And she was like, nah, I don't think he should get the death penalty, but I think he should get life. Like,
yeah. I mean,
but let me go to Trey real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trey.
Hey, what's up, Neat?
Hey.
Yeah, I was just saying this is crazy, because why people supporting, like, you want to see somebody free just and kill two brothers? You know what I'm saying?
Because they idol worship. They
like
idol
people
worship.
saying free him and free this and free that. He just killed two brothers. He just killed two brothers, man. And they supporting. That's evil. That's evil stuff they're doing. All this rap music and all this stuff is pumping evil ideology in people's heads from the get-go. Dolores Tucker was right back in the 90s, bro, when she protested against this destructive and evil behavior. People doing it, and look, it's manifesting. It's coming to fruition right now. You know what I'm saying? We got our youth out here killing each other, talking about gang and all this other stuff like this. It don't make no sense. I mean, it's thoughtless behavior that's going on. That we need to correct that in our communities, bro. We can't keep supporting these people that's killing our brothers and sisters out here, and thinking it's cool and it's straight ignorance. You know what I mean? I'm out here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana right now, in the turf. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, my guy.
Where young boy in there from? You can't keep on supporting this destructive and evil behavior, pumping it into our kids, and what you think gonna happen?
Hey, my guy.
This was gonna happen. You know, when it all boils down to it, they're gonna kill each other. They gonna get on. They gonna come on here and try to get fame on the internet and stuff like this. That's crazy.
Some of us are celebrating. Some of us are celebrating that a black man finally was able to get a fair trial.
Bro, a black man is out here taking care of his kids, not hanging around a whole bunch of other men. All these dudes out here see. They hanging around other dudes.
No, listen.
Get you a family, get you a girl, get you a wife or something. Right? Why dudes celebrating being in a gang, hanging around other men?
Hey, listen.
What type of man do that? Don't no man come out here talking about gang. My gang is in my house, my kids, my wife, and my family. That's my gang. That's my tribe.
All right,
don't come out here talking about gang, hanging around other men.
Wait a minute, Trey. Let him respond.
Okay.
Please look. I don't even like Melly. I think Melly did it. But what I'm celebrating is that a black man was able to get a fair trial because they didn't have nothing on him. No gun, no nothing. A white man would have escaped this whole trial with, he wouldn't even been brought to trial with no motive, no gun, no none of that.
Murdoch did. The lawyer did.
No,
he got convicted off one text message. That lawyer.
Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me address you then. Alex Murdoch was at the scene when his whole family died. Who else did it?
Well,
it's circumstantial. They still had.
It was circumstantial.
Listen,
what are you talking about? It was circumstantial.
Okay, listen. This is what got Alex Murdoch convicted. He said he was not at the kennels, and you heard.
But they had the video of him talking at the kennels.
Right. So that's why he got convicted. But what I'm saying about Melly is, I don't even care about Melly. I think he did it because look at.
And that's true. I didn't. I mean, I expected this. I mean, because they can't put him at the scene. That's the only thing. I mean, I figured it, but I don't think he's innocent.
But listen,
I just think that they presented the case wrong.
Listen, brother, I think it's more white people that are guilty that go off as innocent than any black person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not celebrating that he got off by killing two brothers. Whatever, God gonna deal with him anyway. But my thing is, I'm glad that he got a fair trial to where they couldn't just throw him away just because we all do think he guilty. You have to prove that you innocent until proven guilty. And one thing about us being black, you might not be in the game because you talking all that good shit. And I feel what you're saying. But look at how a white person would perceive you. Your hair all over your head. You know what I'm saying?
No, that don't stop nothing. That don't stop nothing. That don't stop nothing.
Oh, no.
I promise you.
It will stop something.
That don't stop nothing where I come from. Because I tell you.
Hey, I'm from Memphis, bro. I'm from Memphis.
I come in there, I present myself as a person that's knowledgeable about whatever I do, my job or whatever.
Let me ask you this.
I've been in my job 9 years. I'm a supervisor in my job. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Listen,
I promise you that.
Hey, I feel you. I work for the. I ain't gonna tell you where.
That's okay. That's how you present yourself. It's how you present yourself. It's not about race. It's not about how you look.
I'm saying. This is what I'm telling you.
Why you take shots at his hair?
No, I'm not
coming there. No, because I come.
Let me answer her question. Let me answer both of y'all questions. This is what I'm saying about his hair. I like his hair, but I'm saying is how white people will perceive him, and most Mellies and all that. You are guilty before innocent. So I
can't say that. I never had that experience before. I can't say that. I mean, I don't know if anybody else in this chat had experiences like that, but
what he's saying is true. I mean, because I done had dreads for a long time when I was on trial. It was just being logical.
You can get the same thing. Let's not be in our feelings and just be talking outside our necks. Let's be logical. I'm gonna say where I'm from in Memphis. If you get pulled over 10 times, they're gonna think you in a gang. You got a gun and all that just how you look, my brother, and not knowing how you talk. You talk like you really know some shit. And I believe you do. But I'm going off I just appreciate that they gave that man a fair trial. They ain't had no gun, they ain't had no motive, and they used the whole, you know what I'm saying, gang thing. Every rapper get in the gang. Chris Brown is blood. So what's the point?
Yeah, I think that was she
why a grown man? That's a bigger question we need to ask ourselves. What makes a grown man want to try to join a gang, talking about he a blood when he should be with a woman raising a family with kids and got priorities of his own? What makes a grown man
want to do something? Wait. I'm gonna pause you two. Jay Jizzle, what's your thoughts?
Jay Jizzle.
Hey, we all on here with nigga scarves and shit.
For the brother that said that they didn't have no motive, and it was premeditated. I feel like it was premeditated because they had to plan that route out. Like, how did you know that route they had no cameras? So I feel like that's part of premeditated.
The route did have cameras.
Not where the
murder happened.
Hold on.
Yeah, but that's just like a little side road though. Like,
that's on road. That's on Pimmer Road. There's no cameras out there. Trust me.
Listen. We live in this is the 2000s. Even if it's not.
Wait, let him talk real quick. Go ahead, Jizzle.
I thought he was asking me about the motive.
He was talking to you. Okay, go ahead.
Well, they were saying that it wasn't premeditated. It had to be premeditated because ain't nobody gonna do nothing like that. Because we all feel that he guilty. Ain't nobody gonna kill nobody and not search out how they gonna do it and how it gonna work. So him and Bortland had to plan that out for it be no camera.
My only rebuttal to that, my brother, is what really makes it hard to prove the premeditation is that studio session was for 12 hours. They didn't know they were gonna leave early. So that kind of kills premeditation right there because they wasn't expecting to leave at that time. So with them not expecting to leave at that time, you have to prove the premeditation. Like they didn't even try to go through Bortland's phone. You get what I'm saying? Like they didn't even go through his broken phone, and they could have used it. They could have went through that SIM card to see the message between Bortland and Melly. They didn't even do that. So it's hard to prove premeditation when you don't even do that.
I don't
And
think
No,
Portland knew
that
what was
was
gonna happen.
Portland's phone. That was Portland's phone. It just didn't have minutes on it. But you
Hold on,
remember
you don't.
the defense attorney proved. Remember he made him pull this Sims card out. And he was like, read the serial number of that. And he asked him. He said, "Can you pull information off that Sims card?" And he said, "Yes." He was like, "Why didn't you do it?" He didn't have an answer.
well, my question is, why would they take a different route from the other vehicle? They going the same way. Like, why would they do that? Y'all
I mean,
going?
that's we know why. You know what he did.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
like,
yeah, we know why, but
But
you
the
still
thing,
have to prove the
You got
premeditation
proof.
part about it, though.
who gonna answer for these murders? Who gonna take responsibility for
Bortland
them?
Bortland in trouble. Bortland might
Bro,
not catch the
see,
body,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Bortland gonna catch these accessory murders.
see, y'all,
Because
That's
y'all,
what
we
I'm
got more
y'all,
saying.
evidence on Portland
Who
than
gonna
him.
somebody gonna
no,
it's gonna
see,
be somebody
hey,
somewhere that's gonna take responsibility for
yeah.
these murders.
All right, look,
No,
That's what it's gonna boil
we in
down
our
to.
feelings. The murders are gonna be answered for by God. God's the higher power. We didn't let these white folks think that the
It's not
judicial
about
system.
white, bro.
yeah,
It's
no.
black
Let me talk. Let
attorneys
me
in
talk,
there. It's
bro.
We
white
Let me
talk
defense
about
talk.
attorneys all over
Let me
this
talk.
country.
What I'm saying is, Melly is still gonna answer for these murders if we all know he guilty. But my
Yeah.
thing is, you have to prove that in court, and they didn't do that. If you a white man, they have to
No,
have
we not
everything.
saying about it's not about white or black.
I
We
think
Yes, it
saying,
is, bro.
but if you look at the case from the get-go,
It's
they
bots.
can't put him at the scene. They can't put the gun in his hand.
I mean,
That
What gun?
everybody in America know that's gonna be a mistrial.
I
They
mean,
cannot put you. They can't put him in the vehicle. They can't say he had the gun.
The
I
phone
mean,
put him
that
in the vehicle. The
the
phone
phone
put him
put
at
him
the
to the
scene,
scene.
and the
right.
phone put
Yeah.
But the
him
phone,
along the route with the other victims. His
yeah,
exactly
phone
right.
that
yeah,
he
he was.
had, it pinged from the studio with Sack Chase's phone all the way up into the hospital. Then he pinged Fredo Bang. From him pinging Fredo Bang, he connected to Fredo Bang Wi-Fi. So that lets you know from this to that, you connected to his house. Then it pinged back to the crime scene. Then it pinged to the video shoot. Then it pinged back to his house.
Cause the
It
thing
He
is,
stayed
was
with
the
him the
phone.
whole time.
The phone put him on scene. I think what really messed up when she was trying to go after the death penalty, she was reaching on that gang. It wasn't gang affiliated.
AOG.
It had nothing to do with gang.
AOG.
But you can still be on the scene. That don't make you the killer.
Hey,
That
At
is
the same
true.
time,
hey,
Yeah.
you could be on
But
the
they
scene. That don't make you the
they
killer.
proved that Bortland wasn't the killer by the blood
Yeah,
spatter
boy.
on his clothes.
I
It
mean,
Bortland
could have
knows
been somebody else. It's
the
reasonable
defense had
doubt.
the
It could have
defense
been
had one
somebody else
witness.
there that they now look. They could have set them up to get killed by somebody else. Do we know that? He could have
Bortland
been
said it
there when
was
they
a
got
drive.
killed. It
Bortland
could have
said
been
it was a
somebody else.
drive-by.
They set him up.
Bortland said it was a drive-by though. That's
It's
the
reasonable
whole
doubt.
thing. Bortland
Yeah,
said it
see,
was a
that's the thing.
drive-by. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bortland said it was a drive-by. That's what when they realized it wasn't a drive-by, then they said that's he spoke to the police and he said it was a drive-by.
Exactly.
That's so
OG.
he didn't say anything about somebody came in the side of the car and shot.
Yeah.
Bortland
Hey, y'all,
said
check this
that.
out.
He said it was
But
a
I'm
drive-by.
saying that's still gonna put cast doubt.
Hey,
Anything that
But
casts
that's
doubt is gonna be
that's
good for him.
Bortland. That's Bortland's
All
statement
right.
and not Melly though. Melly didn't make a statement.
Anything
Melly
that
didn't make a
casts doubt
statement.
is gonna be good for the defense. Anything. It could be anything that casts doubt.
hey,
so
what the one?
All right,
The
wait
big,
a second, everybody. We got two new people. Javon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think people saying that that the jurors were stupid and everything like that, but I think there was still plenty of reasonable doubt, and that there were some things that was still undecidable because, like, first of all, you gotta remember they didn't even find DNA of Melly in the car until just a couple weeks before the trial started. You tell
4
me
years later.
finding DNA on the car after a film was used, and then.
Miramar botched that.
And then on top of that, and then you find the DNA on the car handle. You ain't find nothing of no DNA on Melly on the shell casing that was found in the car. No DNA of him or anything else in that car. And just say that he was in that car. And then on top of that, no murder weapon, no motive. I think there was still a lot of doubt that caused the jurors not to be able to.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
That's what I said. A lot of doubt. Yeah.
The defense had one witness, and that one witness said, "Hey, I use his phone to get bitches too." That's all they needed. That's all they needed. So we can talk about this phone all day, but they got that one witness that said, "Hey, we all use that phone to get bitches." So it's over with.
but
That is the definition of reasonable doubt.
And then
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, anything that casts doubt, I mean, yeah.
Then on top of that, they said
None
whether
of
we
that
agree.
doubt that y'all are talking about is reasonable to have happened. Like none of it.
I think.
Go ahead, Paula.
It clearly is mistrial.
Hey, I live in Florida in Broward County, and I just want to just say just what I think of the whole thing. I know everybody has their own opinion about this case, but for me personally, I think the jury was very, very incompetent. I think the jurors were not. If you sit in a courthouse for so many days and you hear all these testimonies on both sides, and you cannot sit there and really come to some kind of decision, use common sense. Listen, the prosecution, she wasn't the best, but she laid her case out.
She did.
Common sense. If you listen to that woman, how she put her case together, you can see that Melly did that crime. He did that crime. And also, what I took from it also, when they came back, when they went to do deliberation, they came back and they asked for witness testimony, and they said the wrong person's name. And both sides was like, who's that? The prosecution is asking, who's that? The defense is asking, who's that? None of them had any witness by that name. What that tells me, you're not focused. You're not paying attention, because there is no way you can come back after how many days sitting in a courtroom listening to all these testimonies on both sides, and then you're going to go and deliberate and come back and ask me for testimony from someone who doesn't exist, someone whose name has never been called. You're not focused. You're not paying attention.
I don't think you've been in their shoes before. You ain't been in their shoes before.
No, listen to me, sir. What I'm saying is, if you're a juror and you are in a courtroom every single day listening to testimonies, how are you going to come back and you're going to ask for testimony for somebody who does not exist? You're not paying attention, sir. You're not paying attention.
And I think that's a problem of the prosecution, because she put in so much filibuster stuff that made them get distracted. Because even I, like on some days, I would like zone out, fall asleep. I would have wake up and I would have to rewind it and look at it again. They didn't have that second go back again. So I feel like I said,
she kind of
confused.
She confused the jury.
Bruh,
yeah, I think somebody said that earlier too. Yeah, she did throw a lot of.
She lost when she went through them 500 pictures that proved nothing.
A lot of stuff in there that she didn't need to.
Well, maybe that's what it was. Or maybe that's what it was.
It was the 500
and also I found that there was a lot of.
Was to prove that it was his phone, and got his defense to concede that it was his phone.
Hey, I can go to Google right now and get 500 pictures of any celebrity and put it on my phone.
You reaching. No,
but really,
obviously she was reaching.
But I say, because really all she needed was that jail call from his mom when he admitted himself that it was his phone. That's really all she needed.
Yeah. We slept through 500 pictures of Melly that we can go Google.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis. Wait, Dennis, go ahead.
Good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Come on.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
I don't know why I can't hear you guys. Okay. So, first thing, the prosecutor threw too much in this case to, I guess, confuse the jurors, and the defense played to the prosecution's weakness. So, all the defense has to prove is reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt. That's it.
Reasonable doubt was proven. This is why when you look at the polling, the consensus was based on.
Thank you, Truth Seeker, for responding to the retardo in the chat. Go ahead, Dennis.
The defense's job is to show reasonable doubt. Not that he didn't or did do it, but reasonable doubt. And based on the polling, it was leaning towards his favor. So when they asked for the readback of the last, when they were in deliberation, it was even more ambiguous to the jurors. So this is why they couldn't get a guilty verdict. Now, to the other side is, will the prosecution refile this case? I don't think so, because they showed all their cards.
Yeah.
What's the point of refiling it? They now need to look for the real killers, because that's what's going to be the consensus. And I believe there's a co-defendant sitting out there waiting to go to trial as well, correct?
You crazy as heck if you think they're not going to retry this case. You are crazy.
I don't see
it costs a lot of money to try a case.
Of course, they're going to retry the case.
No, they're not.
It costs a lot of money to retry.
They need
a
gun. They need the murder weapon and a motive to retry.
You crazy as heck if you think that they don't.
It costs too much money.
It costs a lot of money.
They're gonna
be money is unlimited. They can try to go.
Y'all paying the money with y'all tax dollars. The state is going to retry
They're gonna retry the case. They're gonna retry the case.
The money. We the citizens are paying for the money.
They're gonna
retry.
They're gonna retry the case. I'm from
They're gonna
Dallas.
retry.
Hey,
They're
hold
gonna
on. Let me
Yeah.
retry
just
it.
respond to that person in the comments that said we not lawyers. Bro, if you go to jail, if you everybody know they hit that law library. You ain't gotta be no lawyer to know
And it's not a lawyer that gets them guilty or innocent.
exactly.
It's us.
A lot of people don't know. You can go to the law library. You don't have to be a lawyer to understand the law and understand common, you know what I'm saying, terminology about the law.
But
Hey,
Don't say
niggas
even
you
go.
oh we
simpler,
not
even
lawyers.
simpler, it's not the
Hey,
lawyers that is going to put you in jail. It's us.
Exactly. True.
hey,
I mean
hey,
it's jury.
Hey, I've
hey,
been in the
But you
shoes
don't have
before,
to
so
you don't have to
I
be a
know the
lawyer
feeling.
to know the
hey,
law. Just
niggas go
think
to the
about that.
Fed. Niggas go to the feds for 20 years and come out smarter than a lawyer. Because most of these lawyers
Exactly. You
was
can get a
19.
jailhouse, jail.
Come
You
on
can hit
now.
the law library in jail. A lot of people get out free like that. A lot of people don't know that. They get jailhouse lawyers, what we call them, and they get free from the law library in jail.
And you got to remember the jurors are pulled from the pool of the community, not from law school, not from police department, but from a pool of the community.
Exactly.
So when you look at the numbers is supporting the verdict. I mean, excuse me, the outcome in the mistrial. The numbers.
No, that the poll on law and crime is not a real poll.
Well,
It definitely is.
Anybody outside of law and crime
They
did
got
a legit poll. Like
poll.
there
Yeah,
was Bruce Rivers who did a poll.
yeah.
There
How many people
was
though?
other people who did polls. The
Law and
freaking
crime is not
law and
real.
crime
Crime is not real.
channel
Melly
was
fan.
a bunch of people that was trolling. They said Little
Yeah,
Dirk was dead every single day. They
yeah,
They
said
did do
King
that.
Von
yeah,
killed Sack Chaser every single day. The poll
yeah.
was not a legitimate poll. It's not credible. Anybody else who did a poll, I would believe that more than law and crime. That was a bunch of bots. Come on now.
But I think most people know he did it because you keep hearing everybody say, "Well, I know he did it," but the prosecution didn't prove it. So most people, I could say most people of color, they know he did it. They just think the prosecution
They,
didn't do the
Hey,
no,
didn't do
no
the
one,
job.
we
no
just
one.
got
That's
common
it.
sense.
Yeah.
Ain't no black person making murder on my mind that ain't really, you know what I'm saying, trying to kill.
Even without murder on my mind,
Whoa,
just from what the
hold
prosecution.
on, hold on. This is why Young Thug is sitting in jail because you're using his rap lyrics to convince.
No. I'm
No,
using my common sense. I wouldn't have took murder
without
on my
his
mind to court.
yeah,
I'm using my common sense.
they
See,
I
didn't
think
use
you
I
murder
think
on my. They didn't
I,
use murder on my mind
That
they
wasn't even
didn't.
allowed. That wasn't even allowed in there.
in the court. Yeah,
No. Yeah,
I
but I'm
think
saying
something
that's
that
why
was
we
I think
using
something
our
that was
common sense.
critical was how they botched the investigation. It was so many things that they didn't do in the
Miramar
investigation that you
PD.
would
Yeah,
do in a
Miramar.
normal that you would do in a normal investigation that they didn't do. So it played more to what the defense is saying in their open arguments when it was like they botched the investigation. Like for instance, if all eight of us up here right now stayed in the same house and one of y'all died, and we all eight of us there. Why wouldn't you go to the house where all eight of us stay and go ahead and do what you got to do? Like, what would keep you from doing that? The fact that he said that he couldn't get into their house, knowing that all eight people stayed there that was there that night. That like the jury had to know he was lying about that.
Well, you
Because I
made
mean,
no,
I
you
knew he was lying when he first
made a
said it.
good point.
You said I knew he was lying.
You made a good point. The defense was able to point out the weaknesses of the prosecution's case in their opening, and then what they did was, when it came to closing, they pointed out the weaknesses of the case. So they pretty much had a win without even knowing they had a win because the opening was so powerful. How many people saw the opening and thought the opening was powerful? So now, a lot of times, when you see these strong openings, they have a weak closing. They weren't able to connect the dots. But you look at the methodical way the defense was going in on the cross examination of some of the witnesses, showed that this case is not a done deal.
Yeah. Hey, but auntie, I
Exactly.
think it,
All right, wait a second. We got one more person who haven't spoke. Kenneth, go ahead.
What's going on, Nate? Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I think it's guilty.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the dude is guilty. I believe from an overall perspective that like in our community, I think that the glorification of the violence it contributes to a lot of what's going on in our community. Like we kill over 6,000 people a year, 6,000 Black people a year, and we don't like cancel each other for killing babies and women and other men. Like the leading cause of death for Black males ages 0 through 44 is homicide. Like niggas don't even have like a chance of living to 44 without being killed. And like we don't cancel anyone because we don't snitch. We don't put these people away. Anybody who harms anyone in the community should be gone. It doesn't matter the connection to anyone. They should be gone. Gang shouldn't be here. Like
But what
that's
does that
my
have to do with this particular
Melly has
case?
too much people covering for him. That's the problem. Too much people covering for Melly. Melly has
No,
all those witnesses
bro.
come up on there telling a lot of lies. It's just messed up. And
No,
what
we
people need
just
to remember, in
let what's going
2018,
on.
we were going through a deadly pandemic. So all the defense saying, oh, they did check this and they didn't check that for how many years or how many months. We were in the middle, smack dab in a pandemic in 2018 when this crime occurred, and people seem to forget.
We
It was
wasn't in a
hard for
pandemic in 2018.
2018, early 2019. It
No,
was
we
still
didn't
going
get into
on, huh?
a pandemic till 2020.
2020 was a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Late 2019, early 2020. Well, even so, it still kind of hampered them from doing what they needed to
No, they
do.
Nah,
should have
mirror,
already
mirror,
been
mirror
to
my.
trial before the pandemic. He should have went to
A
trial
year
before the
after,
pandemic.
the murder
Well,
was what, 2018?
well, in Broward,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with this area. There's guys sitting in the county jail in Broward County for about 5, 6, 7 years
Me too.
on
I'm
murder
in Burke
charges.
County too.
So I'm just letting y'all know I'm from this. I'm trying to put
That's
y'all on the
crazy.
game. They sitting in the county jail 5, 6 years on murder charges. They be sitting. That's
That's
what they
wild.
do in the county.
Hey, but auntie, I think it's hard for a juror because
How
it's
you
hard
gonna
on
call
jurors.
this lady your auntie?
That's a respect thing when we in Memphis. If you don't
Yeah,
want to
it's
be
kind
called
of
auntie,
respect thing. Yeah,
yeah,
well,
whatever it
Yeah.
is.
he
Well,
calling
she
her
might be
old.
your same age. You don't know
Hey,
if y'all
yeah,
the
you
same
don't know.
age or not.
Okay, girlfriend, baby mama, whatever you want to be called.
That's
Look,
even worse.
I
How
think
old are you? You don't even know how old this woman is calling her auntie.
look, I can just tell when I see wisdom. Like, damn, I'm
She
28.
got that bonnet on. She got that
Yeah,
bonnet
come on
on.
now. But look,
So you gonna make
girlfriend,
her an auntie because she
but
got on
look,
her glasses and a bonnet?
whatever. But look, I think it's
She
hard
might
for
be
any
28 like you.
I think it's hard for anybody to to convict a 19. Well, I don't know how old Millie is now, but he looked like a baby still. I think it's hard for any juror to just convict him to the death row with no evidence like that. Even though we know the outside looking in, I just think
But
no
but
juror
the
can
death
say
sentence
Yeah, because
that come
his
after your conviction.
attorney,
right
yeah,
That
because
come
his
he
after
was
your
attorney
conviction.
closing
yeah,
argument
but
was keep calling him kid, this kid. He keeps saying kid.
yeah,
So he
that's
was
a smart
playing on the
tactic.
jurors too. Yeah, he kept saying this kid. And
Yeah.
he does look like a kid. He really does.
It would have been
But
hard for any
ooh,
human. It's hard for any human being to say 8-4, and then they changed it. He the first one to get tried on this 8-4 count to where it ain't got to be unanimous. They would have sent him up the road and killed this
No,
little
no,
kid.
he's not the first one in Florida. It's another inmate in northern Florida
It might be
that
one
killed.
other person then. One other person.
I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to tell you.
Pop
It's
your shit.
a white guy that up the road. He killed a baby and he killed the little kid. He got the death penalty off this new 8-4. And there's somebody else that's pending somewhere in Jacksonville. That's they don't know if he just lost trial, but he killed this
I think that's what
white
Law
guy.
and Crime said. Law and Crime said he's the first for the 8
He's
to
the
4.
first. Yeah, he's the first one. But somebody just got convicted off the 8-4 because their case got finished before his.
He's the first black.
Yeah.
Probably the first black. Yeah. It was two
I
white
just hope
guys.
that the victim's family get justice. I really do because
Yeah.
it's
That's really the
obviously,
main thing.
you know,
Everybody hope.
it's really hard. I
But
really hope they get
I don't think
their justice.
him getting killed in the street is solving the problem. I don't want if he
No,
gonna kill
I
in the
don't mean
street.
like that. I mean through the court system. I don't mean on the street. Through
Hey
the
y'all,
court system.
I
You
don't
know, I
want him
hope
to
they
get
get
killed in the
justice.
street.
I love R. Kelly, but just like they got him later on, I think they're gonna get Melly later on after they get his money out his music.
I
If
think they
Can I
Melly
gonna.
say,
get out and he think that it was so sweet, he's gonna kill y'all cousins. Okay, he gonna kill again.
But
can I say,
Let me
can we all agree on this? Whatever his name is, Bortland is done. The
Oh
prosecutor
yeah.
they're gonna throw
can I,
everything on
Man,
him.
they're gonna throw
They throw
everything at
everything on
him.
him.
No, I
Oh,
think.
Hold on,
Hey,
hold on, hold on. That's
I
the
don't
I
think
don't
so.
even why don't even know why this kid hasn't even gave up Melly. What is he holding on to? What did they promise him?
Why do you
hey
think?
guys,
No,
can I say
hold on.
this?
This is hold on. Let me say make the point. Why do you think the prosecutor is going to have a stronger case against the co-defendant when they come to convict the main target?
Exactly.
This case is going both of them getting off.
Hey, they
You
might
think
not
so?
even. They might not even try boiling no more. I
You see
promise you,
both
he
of them
already
getting
out.
out?
Y'all are crazy.
I don't even think
Borland
they're gonna
is
try him.
done.
No, he's
Explain
not.
it.
Bro,
Can somebody
yeah,
explain it?
say we saw both of them getting off.
Borland got GSR on him. If they gotta say you the shooter, you have GSR on you, and don't present the evidence that somebody was sitting in the back seat.
Nick. Okay,
they gonna say Borland got out the car. He shot both of them. Staged the whole incident.
I gotta go to work.
Okay,
either one had GS on.
But this what the defense gonna say.
All right, take care. I gotta go to work. Bye, guys.
Hey guys, I know y'all talk about Portland and all this other stuff, and it's entertainment for us. But what we need to remember is two people that lost their lives that can't come back at all. You get what I mean? So even though
nothing to do with the trial, though.
Yes, it has.
I'm saying like
it has everything to do with the trial.
Two people are already dead, but you know what I'm saying? If they couldn't convict him, they couldn't convict him. Yes, we sad for them two people that died. We want somebody to answer for that, but who has answered for all these slaves that was in slavery for 400 years? Nobody. So sometimes you gotta.
And that's a wrong argument right now because this is black on black crime.
Well,
exactly. There's no argument. There's no argument with that black on this black on black.
How many slave owners?
We don't want to hear that.
How many slave owners are in jail? How many slave owners are in jail?
We don't want to hear that. This black on black crime.
I'm not. Yeah, we don't want to hear that.
Yeah. We don't want to hear
All
that.
right, let's hear from B Dash. Chill out, baby Unk D.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so check it out.
Hey, you getting off, Nick?
A situation like this, not with a mistrial, but I've been through a trial, so check it. They're gonna try to Melly not getting out. This judge has been through this trial and seen this evidence. He's gonna be the one that has to make that decision on giving him a bond, and there's no way that judge is gonna give him a bond with the evidence and double murder and him being a death penalty case. So anybody think Melly getting a bond? I'm pretty sure that judge is not gonna give him a bond.
Listen. He's getting a bond. They trying to see if they trying to see if the
listen. He got a bond before. He got a bond before, but
no, he didn't.
I'm trying.
Yes, he did.
I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm telling
Corbin
you.
got a bond because his charges are conspiracy.
No.
Murder. He don't have the murder charges.
Melly got a bond before he had this judge. The other judge gave Melly a bond. He violated, and he came in, and then they got a new judge.
Never had a bond. What are you talking
about? He had a bond like for 2 weeks,
no,
like
did not.
3 weeks. Yes, he did.
You put the bro. On a horse because the prosecution hasn't even determined whether or not they're going to refile charges. Because
they already said they're going to refile. I'm looking it up now. They said they refile it. They refile it. Yeah, refile it. Yeah, this Broward County. Yeah, they for the refile.
But look, if the judge dismisses this with prejudice, they can't retry him. That's what they waiting on.
There's too much evidence, man. That judge is a smart judge. And another thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. This case was Trayvon Glass blew this case, dog. He could have got on that stand with more, not worried about people calling him a snitch, with just more like just standing up and just telling the truth and not just like beat him around the bush and having an attitude. He should have been confident in his testimony and told him what he told him, and this case would have been over with, dog.
It would have been another funeral. It would have been 3 dudes dead then.
Well, hey, whatever.
We got that coach. We're that coach, that no snitch coach. So they got to play it safe.
He only hit the stand because they said they was going to arrest him. That's what he messed up by threatening all of them.
And well, that's what they do. That's normal. That's normal. That's normal. That's nothing. That's nothing different. I mean, you got to work with the state. If you work with the state, they're gonna make things disappear. Y'all know how. I've never been arrested, but I'm trying to. Y'all don't know how the legal system. Y'all don't know how. Y'all don't know how the legal system works.
I have a question.
That's another reason why the judge probably couldn't.
You calling me Nick?
No.
Is that B Dash?
No, listen, Nick, real quick.
Nick.
Okay, so assuming a lot of you are from Florida, or maybe at least 1 or 2 of you from Florida.
Oh, is that Dennis calling me Nick?
I don't know who that was. I heard a voice.
Go ahead.
So he said, I don't know the brother's name, but you're saying about the whole no snitch culture. But what's your thoughts about Kodak doing the song with 6ix9ine?
Listen, I'm not in the street life. I don't care. I'm just telling you how it is. Like, if you tell on somebody, you got to watch your back. That's the no snitch culture. I'm not in the streets. I got a good job. I'm not in
Hold on. So what you saying, if you got into a situation, you gonna snitch because you a civilian?
if anything happened to
A
me or
civilian,
my family,
everybody a
I'm
civilian. Ain't
snitching.
nobody in the
Yeah,
military out
ain't
here.
nobody in the military.
No, when it comes to the streets, it ain't no about military and civilian.
I'm
It's
not
about
in the street, so I'm snitching. I'm
Yeah,
not
all
in the
right.
street. I'm not in those
But
streets.
that's a whole.
Wait, D,
That's the thing about
dang,
it.
wait, D.
That street stuff.
Don't
That's
let
vague.
nobody else talk.
No, I
That
just had to
don't
clarify that. I
that
just
don't
want to
mean
clarify
nothing.
that.
That street stuff, it don't mean nothing. That's not reality. That's a
I'm not.
fantasy people trying to live and portray. That's not. Come on. What
All
what
right, all
what, what
right.
type of person want to live a life that's gonna lead them to death or in jail?
I'm from
What
Memphis,
type of
bro.
person want to do that?
I'm from Memphis, bro. You can't be around here bumping the certain type of shit that these young people like bumping, and then you
That's what
you
I'm
trying to be
saying. But
snitching.
that's the whole problem. You gotta take them out of that.
Yeah,
The whole
niggas need to
mindset,
start
destructive
listening to
behavior.
start listening to John
All
Legend.
right. Let's hear from B Dash and Avante. Right. Either one.
Hi. Oh, hi. So I was listening earlier. This is Avante. I don't know if B Dash was going first. I'm sorry if you were. Hi, everybody. I'm just concerned with the fact that a lot of people say that there's no evidence. And my problem with people saying that there's no evidence, I feel that you guys are living in a fantasy world when it comes to law, because we have video of him actually getting in the car. So for anybody to say, well, there's no DNA that he was in the car, we seen him enter into the car and drive off. So we know that he was in that car at any point. At some point of this case, he was in the car. So for you guys to be like, we don't know if he was in the car, that's crazy. The second part is, okay, you guys are saying anybody, that could be a phone for everybody to have, and he could have got pictures. That's possible, but not in this case, because he had the phone on him, right? So
No.
the phone, he didn't have the phone on him.
Not it didn't end on him.
But we don't know that. That's the thing. That's
So at any
circumstantial.
point,
reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt.
So at any point did he have so at any point was anybody else, did you guys see anybody else get in the car? No, right? And
we
he
don't
got
know.
in the car.
Nobody did.
But
we didn't see him get out the car.
That's a video at one point in time. You cannot take that one video and make it evidence for the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even get to the whole time. I just got to the point that you guys said that there's no DNA in the car of him being in the car. So I'm saying to you guys, we see evidence of him actually getting in the car.
True.
So all of that, they didn't get DNA. First of all, we seen him get in the car, so we know he was actually in the car with or without DNA of him being in that car, right?
But we don't know if he was in there during the commission of the crime. That's the point.
See, that's
but they found a shell casing in the car, and they still didn't get no DNA off of that or from him.
You don't need no DNA to be what's the name, but not to be in the car. You got the location where he dropped Frito Bang. He dropped Frito Bang, his location. The location was right there on that street. That's evidence. They got plenty of evidence.
That's what I'm saying.
The prosecutor just didn't know how to present the evidence. If we get a new prosecutor, if I don't know if y'all need to know anything about law, but Kelly Seeger is the top lawyer. She have won so many murder trials for the prosecution. If we get a good prosecutor, he will be in jail and he will be doing a life sentence if we got a better. The prosecutor didn't know how to present the evidence to the jury to convince the jury that he did the crime.
All right, what time?
Well, I'm gonna respond to that because I don't want to see nobody get a life sentence without, like my brother said, with the do-rag on, without having all the evidence presented.
What
you know what I'm saying? If
evidence are
they
you
can't
looking
convict
for?
him off the evidence, if you gotta make assumptions and bring all this in,
Not assumptions.
It is assumptions.
it is because wasn't nobody there when the crime took place. If you can't put him at that scene of the crime, then I think the case you don't have a
They
case.
did put him at the scene of the crime. The problem.
They don't know the
How
crime
about
happened.
circumstantial evidence?
Hold
though?
do you not hold on? So do you think that most cases are solved by video evidence, like all of there's reasons why there's circumstance evidence like this? It's because he had that phone.
Right.
We know it, and we have to use common sense. Y'all can be fans of Melly and
But
all of that,
no.
Common sense don't work.
It ain't about common. It's about placing that phone
but
on him. You cannot say he had that phone.
So you're saying your thing is he got out the car to use the bathroom.
No, he got out the car and left. And then they might have got shot up.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to
So
interject
the
in
fact
nothing
that
in there.
the fact that he got even okay, let's just say your thing. Even, and I think you guys were talking about Portland. If Portland was in the car, even if he didn't shoot and them people got killed, I'm from Florida, but I live in Los Angeles. If Portland was in the car and them people got killed, he still can be convicted of murder, even if he
No,
didn't pull the trigger.
they
I
not
don't
even.
know.
Why?
I don't know
Why?
if Broward County is like that.
How?
I'm just
No.
saying.
If
So
he,
if Melly got out the car and he set him up or whatever, and he allowed somebody else to get into the car to shoot and kill, he's still.
Remember, Borland's statement was that they got into a drive-by.
Yeah,
But we already
that's a
know
lie.
that
That's
there's
a lie.
shells. Yeah, we
Yeah,
already
that's a
know
lie.
that there's shells in the car. We already know that they got shot on the left side and not the side. Like, so the drive-by would have had to completely miss the two
But
people
the
on
thing
the.
about it, Borland the only one putting himself at the scene of a crime.
Melly ain't make no statement.
But you know what? You know what I'm thinking they want to do. I'm thinking they're going to sequester. I mean, the prosecutor's going to ask the jurors what happened, what hung up, and if they're going to retry this case.
Of
Millie
course.
is not getting out. For the young people who keep saying Millie getting out, free Millie. Millie is not getting out no time soon. This may take another 2 to 3 years, but they're gonna
Nah, if
ask
you got a right to a speedy trial, they only got
Yeah.
6 months to retry you.
Well,
After you already been to trial.
they're gonna retry him in them 6 months. Them what's going on now? And the prosecutor's gonna go in that jury room. The prosecutor's gonna ask them what had you hung up. They're gonna ask each individual, and they have the right. They have the right not to say what had them hung up, and they're gonna take that from there. And I don't think this prosecutor will be back on the case, but they're gonna take what had them hung up, and they're gonna re-prosecute because the only thing that happened was. Wine Millie paid a little bit more money. He had a good defense attorney that fought for him and placed a reasonable doubt in a little bit of them jurors. But if they would have did this case right and the prosecutors would have come, the little bit of evidence that they did have, the bunched up evidence that they did make, they could have I could have presented this case better than they did, and he would be set in jail for the rest of his life.
No.
I don't think he should be getting out because if he get out, then that means my cousin or my nephew or somebody else might be end up dead in 2 weeks because this man has a split personality, and y'all know he has a split personality. And I'm 43 years old, and I know y'all are younger than me, but I do not want to see him out of jail and somebody else murdered. It's not fair for the people. And I know people saying, well, no, I want more music. Fuck that music. We don't need him back out to kill his 2 friends. Even the man, what's the name? The homicide, the lady that does the thing, she said that they was already dead before the other bullets. See, their heart has already stopped beating before the other bullets came in.
See, what we forgetting is that even if he was convicted guilty, he had many grounds of acquittal because of the things that the prosecutor did during the case. She brought in plenty of things and said plenty of things she shouldn't have said that made it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he wasn't gonna get a
No, he won.
But people, listen, I'm gonna say this, we can't take this too personal. You know, it is what it is. Like some people are taking it personal.
Did you see the other guy's mama that her son is that dead? She just wrote a whole statement on Facebook. And if y'all go to Facebook, this woman is grieving because she done birthed a child that's in the cemetery that she got to go to and talk to a cold grave. That a boy in the back seat that shot her son. And I'm just finding out this week that the boy in the front seat was asleep. So why would you kill him and he was asleep?
That's why I said.
What's the mama Facebook? Let me go to it and pull it up.
Yeah, put it up, Nick.
But y'all gotta understand, all them boys from Vero Beach and all them grew up together. They all knew each other. They was friends.
All right, wait. What's the mom Facebook so I can pull it up?
Hold on, let me look. Let me go get her name.
Yeah, all them grew up together. That's why this whole thing is so nasty.
Hey man,
and it's devastating.
I think it's deeper than what we think because law and crime, it could have been. I went in the courtroom, but they said that the family of the 2 dudes they ain't had many supporters. No way. So
they came in. They was coming in at the beginning, and then
they
stopped
coming.
coming in. But you got to understand, they know each other. They from Vero Beach. That's like a small town. That's like a small city, so they all know each other. They shot Portland Daddy. Portland Daddy is paralyzed right now. They shot Portland Daddy. Like they all know each other. They all grew up together.
Who shot Borland's dad?
They don't know. They don't know, but Bortland dad is they said paralyzed. Somebody shot Bortland dad. They say he's paralyzed. They
True
said
that.
they said it's off this whole situation. So
So y'all don't think a major record label could have something to play with this situation?
I mean, anything possible.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, you can blame it on anything.
No, I ain't
I
blaming
mean,
on nobody. I'm just saying, like, do y'all think that Melly has a support system that we probably could never fathom? Them
I
white
mean, he
folks.
probably. Now I don't know about White. I don't think I got anything to do with White. I just think, he got lawyers. I think the prosecutor, she was going too hard for that death penalty, which
Anybody in the chat know his mom Facebook?
I think she should have went for the death penalty if they changed it 8-4 with a case like this. 8-4 should have been
he
hard.
makes a good point. He makes a good point. Going for the death penalty was a big gamble. If the death penalty wasn't off the table, those jurors might have came back with a guilty verdict.
You got to understand this is Broward County is a Democratic county. They very
Yeah,
liberal.
but that's what I said. That it was. I never thought about the death penalty.
If this was in northern Florida, she probably could have got away with this. But this in Broward County, it's a Democratic county.
All right.
You got to show if you're going for the death penalty in Broward County, Miami-Dade County, and so Palm Beach County, you better have a weapon, you better have video, you better have all of that if you're going for the death penalty.
Yeah,
what you should. I mean, that's a serious allegation.
This is why I think if she believes what she believes, she should have went after the death penalty, like I said, because for the death penalty to be on the table, it has to be gang involved. It has to be gang involved.
But it wasn't gang involved. I'm trying to tell you, it's
I
not
agree
gang
it
involved.
wasn't, but I'm saying for it to be
She
the
was
death
reaching.
penalty. I agree.
She was reaching. That's why I said legally, to get the death penalty in the state of Florida, it has to be when you have a double murder, it has to be gang related.
So
she was reaching with the gang related. It wasn't gang related.
So take out the gang related.
Send me the
How much
actual
evidence
link.
did she have?
My boo, send me the actual link because I can't pull her up under that name.
You heard me, Kid folks? Take out the gang. Take out everything the prosecutor said about the gang. How much evidence did she have then?
She have evidence. The gang wasn't even no evidence.
I'm saying she brought a gang expert up there who went through.
Yeah, but she was
that was 2
reaching
days. That was 2-3 days worth of
but
testimony.
You disagree with us what we were
Yeah.
talking about. She brought too much information.
Yeah.
She brought too much. It wasn't gang related. I keep telling you that these folks are from Vero Beach. Hold on.
They from
They from Vero Beach.
Yeah.
They knew each other.
Yeah.
This was over greed, bullying, money, power. The whole rap scene thing. That's what it was over.
jealousy.
She should have and jealousy. Hold on. She should have focused on that. That's what she should have focused on.
But how could she do that if everybody said, did y'all get the argument in the studio? No. Did y'all have any angry text messages? No. Were y'all
But
beefing? No.
it showed in text messages that they were beefing. And then you heard what
who was beefing in text messages? Who was beefing? Because
Zach Chaser and Melly was beefing in text messages.
They were not beefing. They were not
They were beefing. He was telling him, I'm CEO and you the little guy, and y'all gonna quit playing with me because I feel like y'all up to something, and you keep on not respecting my position.
But the thing about what my boy trying to say is they wasn't beefing. They probably had a disagreement in the past about something.
They've been having different
disagreement, but it's a different one. When you beefing, you ain't finna go around nobody. If you beefing with somebody,
in the same car with a nigga after beefing,
you ain't finna beef with him. You ain't finna get in the car with him. So I feel that.
No.
Crazy.
Y'all not listening.
No, I'm reading. I hear you. Go ahead, my brother.
They was going. It was like jealousy, like Buddy said. It was jealousy.
I can say that. Yeah.
It was slick comments.
Right.
Like, you know how you be around somebody, you can tell somebody
Yeah.
don't like you.
Yeah,
Now, hold me out. Now you got to understand the reason why he came in the car. I keep telling y'all.
If y'all know the mom's Facebook, send it to me because I don't see it.
You got to understand, they grew up together. They know each other. They family know each other. Their mom, he used to call Melly mom. They were like best friends. They grew up together. Now, what happened as the Melly was getting bigger, they got in a physical fight. Remember, he knocked out Melly teeth. They got in physical altercation. He throwing water on him. He sending dick pictures to Melly's girlfriend. Melly told him you could kill my mom because he telling him that your mom tripping. All of that is you can see how toxic that is. I don't care how.
Yeah, she just didn't package it right, and she focusing on it was a gang initiation, bitch. That sounds stupid as hell to anybody.
You know why though? Y'all know why? Let me throw something in there real quick so you can explain this. Okay, y'all can say all that about they was beefing. So why, after this 12-hour studio session, did he get in the same car with him and go to Melly's house?
Because you gotta
if they really
understand.
beefing, why did they do all that in the same night?
I keep
Can I
telling
ask
you,
you a
bro.
question? Did they have a fight? Do you know anything about a
Yeah,
fight?
they had a
Did they have
fight.
a
They had a
fight?
fight.
Right? No, I'm asking the one that's asking
Oh,
about the beefing.
yeah,
Did
Oh
they
they
have
yeah,
a
had a
fight?
fight for it.
yeah.
They had a
I've
Did
fight.
he
had
get
fights.
his teeth knocked out?
I've
Yep.
had fights with my close best friends and stuff
So
like that.
that's the
But they
whole thing.
no
So you
listen.
would get.
If we
So we
beefing
have.
though,
Wait. I'm gonna ask
it's a
you a
difference
question.
between
You
a
talk.
fight
Wait.
and a
Hold
beef.
on.
You